We've posted it there for those of you for your convenience to watch it. Agent Sharita's Turbulence.
Thank you.
Well done, well done. You and your husband did some really great work there. So
Thank
let's
you. We
talk a
had
little.
fun. We had fun.
I can see that. Let's talk a little bit then about what we're looking at today, which is the requirements
Yeah.
for different types of businesses, as it relates to the real estate agent's role in all of this. Where do we start?
All right. So I want to touch today on senior citizens' homes. I had the privilege of visiting a client just a week or so ago, and he was ready and raring to go for a senior citizens home.
Hmm.
However, he couldn't get the license because, simple thing, the doorways were not wide enough. And it hurt my heart because he was ready, he was passionate, but the infrastructure just would not have been passed. So there's some things that you need to know before you head out there. And if you have the gift of giving, that care
Yes.
and provision to seniors, you might want to hear some of these things before you decide to pursue an actual home for them.
So,
So
it's to
go
look at
ahead.
the structure of your property to see if it can fit the type of business that you want to go into as it relates to senior citizens home today, that the doorways are wide enough, that you have the ramp outside, that those mobility things that will be required, that they're all in place first before you hit the
Yes.
market.
And even before that, you have to
Hmm.
ensure, before we get to the infrastructural side, you would want to ensure. Now, I'm going to read out to you some of the regulations from the Ministry of Health. Of
Right.
course, you make sure you check with them to get the updated version, just in case I'm not giving you the correct thing. But things you need to be mindful of, for example, that the person in charge of the home is a registered medical practitioner or a registered nurse,
So
right?
true.
Or can at least satisfy the chief medical officer that they're competent in the science of gerontology, dealing with
Hmm.
seniors. So that's the first thing. Um, there must be a registered medical practitioner or a registered nurse all on the premises at
All
all times,
times.
or they have to be available to respond to a request in terms of their services.
Yes.
So those are the things that are paramount. Um, you also have to ensure that provision is made to the satisfaction of the chief medical officer, ensuring that suitable medical attention is
Hmm.
available whenever required for every patient.
Hmm.
And you have to, you know, also confirm that you can access the services of a dietitian or a nutritionist in terms of prescribing the amount and composition of meals. And
Yes.
there's at least one caregiver for every 10 patients. Obviously, that may have changed now in light of COVID. So
Hmm.
remember to check with the Ministry of Health. But those are some of the foundational elements that you have to have in place.
For your staffing requirements, yes, for real, you have to have all of those critical roles filled so that those who you care for can be adequately cared for. But then you also have to look at, we got that sorted out, but the property, because
Yes,
oftentimes some of the guests, I'll use that word for now, the residents of your senior citizens' homes would have other capacity issues, whether it is that they can't walk ably or that they're in early or late stages of dementia, and so the potential to
yes.
wander off. So security is going to be one of the things you need to look at.
That is essential. There's some properties, for example, that you might propose to be considered, but they have loads of stairs. So
Mm.
you have to convince the Ministry of Health, for example, that anyone up the stairs is an able, well-bodied person to get around. You can't risk slips and falls with seniors. And then even things like your patios.
Yes.
Seniors, they love to get that fresh air,
Hmm.
and they may wander off when you're not mindful. You have to ensure your patios are reinforced, or at least the doors to any patios and balconies, are closed at a time that they're supposed to be inside. Supervision is key.
Yes.
Now some other things that you might not have realized, even in terms of the sexes, patients of different sexes have to be accommodated in separate wards. And also you have to have one toilet for every 8 patients of each sex.
Mm.
So imagine if you have a one bathroom home, that obviously is not going to work. You have to make provision for each of the sexes. And even in terms of bathrooms, space, everything nowadays you have to think of in terms of wheelchair accessibility.
Yes.
So imagine handrails. adequate length of, and width in hallways, toilets, and shower stalls. It's a lot that goes into it.
Location to me, to my mind, is also going to be critical. You know, in your retirement years, you don't necessarily want to be in the place where it's all the hustle and bustle going on all around you. You just want to relax and enjoy your moment. And location, 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 as in real estate, is always important. You know, so help us understand what's the kind of location that is best suited to perhaps the senior citizens home.
Well, think about it. Seniors are at that stage of life. They have lived the hustle and bustle life. They just want to relax and cool out. And especially too, if they're not in a space that is home, they want to feel like it's a sanctuary. So you have to make it that for them. So you'll find that senior homes have very peaceful colors
Yes.
on the interior. You know, nothing to get you feeling frantic.
Yeah.
And the ones that do well have good outdoor space, patios where you can cool out, and even those reception areas where you can just relax, watch TV as a group, you know, sing and engage. So you have to think of the space component for sure, and something feeling like a true retreat.
You're right. You're absolutely right. That is so critical. But then there's some who are high functioning. So I like the gardens, you know, to have space where you can still use your hands and use your brain to be able to do a little bit of gardening, whether it's pruning or planting and different things around the property as well. But you need to have the space around you to be able to do so. Don't coop them up. Don't coop them up.
No. And another thing I want to add on in terms of the safety of the residents, and these are other rules and regulations in place, things like making sure that kitchen is not easily accessible, right? So kitchens usually have to be cordoned off. You'll find that the linen area, from a hygiene perspective, the linen area for soiled linen has to be separate and distinct from, you know, laundry chutes separating. Listen, there is a lot. So I just want to reiterate, for those who want to pursue this line of business, go and connect with someone at the Ministry of Health to see what is really involved. Now, before we go, I just want to give not a punitive lash, but a kind, endearing word to the Ministry of Health. Listen, I know they are stretched. Those officers do wonderful work, so kudos to you. But I just want to say this on behalf of some persons, caregivers and providers who are concerned, and I just want to reach out to you and share that they often feel that even though they apply for the license, sometimes they have to wait so long.
Yes.
2 and 3 years, I've heard up to recently that it is discouraging. They want to do everything right, but imagine knowing that you are conducting a business that has not been given permission, but yet if you wait, it's 2 to 3 years. So just reaching out to the powers that be at the Ministry of Health. Remember, you are doing an awesome job. So don't see it as it's just constructive criticism. Help them help you, and hopefully we can get those senior homes, certified, licensed, and so forth a lot sooner.
You're right. But you know, as well, if I'm thinking of operating a senior citizens home, I might be talking to you, Agent Sherita, to say, Agent, I'm looking for somewhere where I can do this, not at my home, but a property that's perhaps listed anywhere that would help me to be able to achieve this particular business goal. And that's where we begin to talk more closely with you to help us spot that property.
Yes. Now, I'm a listing agent, so I just market what's in my portfolio. So I tend to know immediately which house could be suitable for senior care. I just rented out one that is suitable for daycare. And these are hard to find. And unfortunately, I don't do a lot of searching because searches are very time sensitive. But just ensure that you get the copy of the regulations before you go looking for property. Don't look at a property, think it's cute, and then say, yeah, let's make this work. Find out the regulations first, so that when you reach out to realtors, they can guide you as to if it might meet your standards.
Well said, well put.